12 things men say that make women cringe on first dates. Avoid these red flags. Women find these 12 statements particularly off-putting during early dating phases. And truthfully, men aren't fond of hearing similar things from women either. Interestingly, when men use statement number 12, it relegates them to the friend zone approximately 87% of the time. It's important to acknowledge that men and women do have certain differences that can create confusion and frustration between them. While those initial dating stages represent an exciting period where you're both eager to make positive impressions, you might unknowingly say things that make her internally cringe. Whether you're coming across too intensely or revealing excessive personal information prematurely, certain comments can immediately kill the romantic atmosphere. To prevent unintentionally turning her off before you've even realized what happened, let's examine 12 statements women dislike hearing during early dating stages, and more importantly, understand why these comments don't land well. For those new to my channel, I'm Anna Jorgensen. I specialize in helping good-hearted men like yourself understand modern women, enabling you to find, attract, and maintain relationships with your ideal partner, or simply develop healthier connections with women in general. Welcome to Just the Tip, and be sure to stay until the end to learn about my newly launched one-on-one coaching program. Let's begin with number 1. I'm not like other guys. Nothing communicates that you're exactly like most men more than explicitly stating you're different. This overused phrase suggests you're trying excessively hard to distinguish yourself, implying that all other men are superficial or uninteresting. Ironically, making this declaration often makes you appear more predictable, as if you're following a standard script used by every man attempting to seem profound and enigmatic. Rather than verbally claiming your uniqueness, simply embody it. Show rather than tell. If you genuinely possess interesting qualities, they'll naturally emerge during conversation without requiring any grand, "I'm different" announcement. For instance, when you directly tell her, "I'm not like other guys," she's left questioning why you feel compelled to make such a statement. If you're truly unique, she'll discover this herself without your self-promotion, and likely appreciate your subtlety more. By explicitly highlighting your supposed specialness, you risk sounding like you're compensating for something lacking. Allow your actions and interests to naturally reveal your uniqueness. If she's interested, she'll notice without prompting. Just a tip: women comprehend countless subtle hints. We're constantly reading between the lines, even if not always accurately. We're actively looking for indications of how you both resemble and differ from other men we've encountered. Number 2. My ex was crazy. Making this statement prompts her to wonder if you've truly moved beyond your past relationship, or worse, if you'll eventually label her as crazy too. While briefly mentioning previous relationships is acceptable, speaking negatively about an ex reflects poorly on your character. It's more respectable to maintain dignity when discussing past partners. If you're still complaining about your ex, it signals unresolved emotional baggage, and nobody wants to serve as an impromptu therapist during early dates. Keep conversations centered on her and present circumstances. This approach is significantly more attractive than excavating past relationship drama. For example, if you casually mention that your ex was extremely controlling, she might internally question why you remained in that relationship initially. This comment gives her reason to wonder what behaviors you might have exhibited that potentially triggered such crazy reactions from your ex. She may also worry whether you'd similarly criticize her for certain behaviors if your relationship eventually ends. Suddenly, she feels less enthusiastic about potentially becoming the one navigating the next phase of your dating journey. It's wise to keep discussions about past relationships concise and respectful. Instead of fixating on negative experiences with an ex, channel your energy into articulating what excites you about future connections. For example, rather than venting about past issues, you might say, "I'm looking for someone who approaches challenges with calmness and mutual respect." This positive framing paints a clearer picture of your values without reopening old wounds. Now, consider the common phrase, "I'm really busy with work right now." While it's true that work demands can be intense, constantly emphasizing your schedule sends a subtle message that your attention might be limited. In dating, attention is a form of emotional currency. Being too guarded with it can make potential partners question their priority in your life. Imagine if you're always swamped. They might wonder, if they're too busy for casual plans now, What happens once we're in a serious relationship? Instead of highlighting your packed calendar, focus on demonstrating balance. If a date suggests hanging out, respond by saying, "I've got a hectic week ahead, but I'd love to connect next weekend. How about we check in on Wednesday to solidify plans?" This shows you're committed to making time for them while still honoring your responsibilities. After all, the goal isn't to prove how busy you are. It's to show that you prioritize what truly matters to you. Vague statements like, "Let's just see where this goes," can also be problematic. While it might sound open-ended, it often comes across as a lack of commitment or emotional clarity. People in meaningful relationships appreciate straightforwardness. If you're not ready for a deep connection, it's better to say so directly rather than leaving them in limbo. Picture this scenario. Your date asks about your long-term intentions, and you reply, "We'll take it slow and see." That response can leave them feeling uncertain or even dismissed. Honesty builds trust, so if you're exploring options, be clear about it. Conversely, if you're open to something more, let them know. Transparency prevents misunderstandings and ensures both parties are on the same page. Another red flag to avoid is declaring your mother as your best friend. While a strong bond with your mom is admirable, labeling her as your primary confidant can unintentionally raise eyebrows. It might make a potential partner wonder if they'll be competing for your attention, or if you'll default to seeking mom's advice instead of navigating conflicts together. Independence is key in healthy relationships. Demonstrating that you can handle challenges on your own, while still valuing family, reassures your partner that you're capable of building a partnership based on mutual trust. Save the mama's boy vibe for private moments and focus on cultivating a dynamic where your new connection feels like the center of your world. When it comes to adult relationships, it's important to be aware of certain signs that may indicate potential issues. For instance, if a woman frequently relies on her father for advice about her romantic life, this could be a warning sign, or perhaps a more subtle indication that both partners should be cautious. Ideally, partners should be each other's primary support system. Consider this scenario. During a dinner date, you casually mention that you share everything with your mom. Suddenly, your date might start to feel like she has to compete with your mother for your attention. Let's be honest. Who would want to be in a relationship where their partner's go-to person for discussing relationship challenges is their dad instead of them? It can feel like inviting an unwanted third party to every outing. Instead of sharing every detail of your emotional experiences with your mom, it's wise to keep some of those conversations private, allowing your date to feel prioritized. After all, she wants to feel special just as you do, rather than feeling like she's part of a familial triangle. Next, let's talk about the phrase, "You're different from other women." Many women have encountered this line before, and rather than feeling flattered, it often comes across as a cliché. This vague compliment can seem insincere, as if you're merely ticking off items from a dating guide. It suggests that you might not recognize her unique qualities. For example, if you use this line expecting her to be pleased, she might instead wonder if you mean she's different because she doesn't meet your previous standards. This can lead her to question the nature of your past relationships and whether she's merely a fallback option in your search for the ideal partner. Instead of using vague compliments, it's far more effective to express appreciation for something specific that sets her apart from others you've known. You might say, "I really admire how you always look for the silver lining. It's truly refreshing." Moving on to the topic of exclusivity, asking her if she's seeing anyone else too soon can come off as insecure or possessive. In the early stages of dating, there's no automatic expectation of exclusivity, and jumping to conclusions can make you seem controlling. Instead of appearing relaxed and confident, you might inadvertently signal that you're ready to draw boundaries over a casual dinner, which isn't ideal. For instance, imagine you're enjoying a light conversation about your favorite films, and then you abruptly ask, "So, how many guys are you dating right now?" This could make her feel like she's being interrogated rather than enjoying a pleasant evening. A little mystery can be alluring, so it's better to focus on getting to know her rather than trying to assert your claim before a solid connection has been established. Allowing her the freedom to express herself will ultimately work in your favor. However, if you prefer a more traditional approach of dating one person at a time, you can broach the subject more generally by saying something like, The dating scene has changed quite a bit. I don't want to make any assumptions, so what's your general approach to dating these days? Are you someone who prefers to date one person at a time? Or do you like to keep your options open until you find the right match? This way, you can discuss values and beliefs without making it about the two of you specifically. Lastly, let's address the phrase, "I don't usually date girls like you." While this may be intended as a compliment, it can often come off as a backhanded remark. It's crucial to be mindful of how such statements can be perceived, as they may not always convey the positive sentiment you intended. When you're trying to compliment someone, it's important to avoid sounding too critical or judgmental. Sometimes you might think you're just giving them a pass, but this can come off as if you don't see them as your type, even if you're doing it intentionally. This can be tricky because it's easy to misinterpret your actions. For instance, if you say, "I usually don't go for women like you, but I'll make an exception," it might be seen as flirtatious or teasing. However, if they take it the wrong way, they might wonder if you truly value them or if you're settling for less than your usual standards. It's better to focus on their unique qualities rather than bringing up past relationships unless it's leading into a meaningful compliment. For example, if you say, "I'm not like other girls I usually date," you could end up with a raised eyebrow or silence, leaving them unsure if you're genuinely impressed or if you're playing games. Remember, she's not a project to be graded. She's a person who deserves your attention and respect, without the baggage of your previous preferences. If you mention her friend's achievements like a promotion, it might seem like you're subtly saying she's competing with them, which most people find unappealing. This can create unnecessary doubt and push her away instead of drawing her in. Instead of showcasing your friendship to prove your desirability, focus on building a connection with your date. Number 10. Most women can't handle your attitude. This line often sounds like a warning, implying you're unreliable or difficult, but it's actually a subtle critique of your behavior. If you say, "I'm a lot to handle," it might be interpreted as a challenge, which is unattractive and can set the stage for future misunderstandings. Imagine saying, "I'm a lot to handle" right before your first date. She might think you're testing her, imagining a roller coaster of self-esteem drops. Instead of focusing on what's working, address what's not. Number 11. Why are you single? This question can feel like a backhanded compliment, suggesting there's a reason you're not dating. It might make her feel like she needs to justify her choices, similar to how others might feel when questioned about their relationship status. For example, if you ask, "Why are you still single?" and she responds with a forced smile while listing excuses, it's time to let her defend her decisions rather than dwell on the moment. It doesn't matter if she's single by choice. The truth is everyone has their reasons. Focus on getting to know her and enjoying your time together. Ask about her interests and experiences, and let the conversation flow naturally. Let's dive into some of the things she's enjoyed while being single and her hobbies or favorite places. Watch the conversation flow effortlessly with no uncomfortable implications hanging in the air. Just before I reveal the last, but possibly worst, thing a man can say in the early stages of dating to a woman, let's consider this. If you found value in this video, please give it a like and subscribe. Thank you so much if you already have. Now, with the exception of a few progressive countries, even there, a woman prefers not to hear this, and saying this one thing results in an 87% crash and burn rate. Number 1. Let's split the bill. Ouch! I know it's a tough one. While fairness is great, according to polls from U.S. college campuses, arguably the home of the highest percentage of female feminists, 87% of women see this statement as a sign that you're not interested or don't think she's worth it, or simply don't want to invest. I agree it's hypocritical and anti-equality, but it is reality. Unless you're in a very progressive country, in the early stages, going Dutch can send mixed signals, especially if it's a recurring theme. It can come across as treating the date like a casual business meeting rather than a budding romance. Imagine you go out for dinner, and as the bill arrives, you say, "Let's split it." While it is fair, she can't help instantly comparing this date to the other one when the guy automatically paid the check. If dates with you feel like you're keeping a ledger, she might start to feel more like a friend than a romantic interest. Even if she's in a place where most men do split the bill because it is a progressive country or culture, you will stand out if you actually offer to pay the bill. I know, don't shoot the messenger. I'm sorry. Now, keep in mind it's perfectly fine to split the bills if that's part of your value system, but in the beginning, consider taking the lead more often. It shows you're willing to invest in the experience and can make her feel special and feminine. After all, a little charm and generosity can go a long way to building attraction, as long as it doesn't feel forced or expected. Ladies, in other words, she should be reaching for the bill even if she lets you pay to get around the cost of dating. Go for cheap, non-dates that are maybe a coffee and a walk, which is perfectly acceptable as a first meetup. It offers less cost and less pressure for both of you. Unless you're under 25 to 30 years old, you don't want to hear this line from her either because it likely means she's already friend-zoned you. If she insists on paying for herself on a first date, either she's a hardcore feminist who doesn't want to owe you anything, she feels bad for rejecting you, or it's a test. Which of these have you said to a woman, and how did it go? Share your thoughts in the comments. In the early stages of dating, words do matter, and avoiding these common pitfalls can go a long way. Now, keep it real, stay away from cliché lines, and most importantly, remember to be your real self. With that approach, you're far more likely to naturally make a lasting positive impression without any cringeworthy missteps along the way. And if you want to know some things women enjoy, stay tuned. I'm thrilled to know you're interested in my upcoming video on the phrases that can captivate women. Be sure to check it out next or find it in the pinned comment. If you're tired of fretting over what to say when you're drawn to someone and want to effortlessly attract the kind of women you truly desire, my personalized one-on-one coaching program is tailored just for you. You'll dive deep into mastering online dating, honing your flirting skills, building genuine confidence with women, finding your soulmate, or simply enjoying some casual fun. Whatever your current goals may be, spots are limited, so don't miss out. Click the link in the description, pinned comment, or scan the QR code to secure your place and start achieving the results you've been dreaming of. Thanks for being here. Sending you heaps of love and blessings.